be chillin' out. So I got my dad hat on, yeah. I could be suiting up. So I got my bow tie on, yeah. Dad hats and bow ties. Dad hats and bow. Dad hats and bow ties. Dad hats and bow. I could be suiting up. So I got my bow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is season 2 of Dad Hats and Bow Ties. We are back, bro.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's the Kid Distinguished. In case y'all forgot, I'm the darkest one out the crew. I look like I'm burning over here because the camera angle, but if y'all put light to my face really close, I look like I'm X complexion.
You're pretty much the same complexion,
But
bro.
now,
X is maybe just one shade lighter than you, bro.
This is what I'm saying. He's definitely were not the same.
Actually, me and you are more narrative.
Me and you are definitely.
So,
Tell me something?
I'm not even getting into this fucking conversation.
Tell me something?
We're back.
We are.
It's been almost a full year.
It has been.
Well, it's been over a full year, actually.
It's been over a full year.
The last time y'all saw us was the live podcast.
Last time they saw you have fucking hair.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. I probably, never mind, I'm not even gonna go there.
Damn.
All right.
Damn.
So, episode 1,
Damn.
season 2.
Saw that clapping and shit?
I know, that shit was powerful.
Yeah.
Episode 1, season 2.
Yeah.
Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. What was the purpose of naming the episode? Keep that same energy.
Cause, alright, so some of y'all may know some of the things that are going on with the podcast. Some of y'all don't.
Right, from season 1, correct?
Right. So some things have developed since season 1, which is why we took so long to come back.
And some things just remain the same.
Right. So, it's true. And we just want everybody to keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. So what you liked before in the past, we're glad that you're welcoming back that same bullshit. And what you didn't like, we're improving some of the conversation.
Yeah. You know, and as things start to change, just keep the same energy that you had with us since season 1. Meaning if you bangs with us, we've acknowledged that, we know. And if you haven't really banged with us, just keep the same energy.
Keep the same energy. You're a loser. Don't go in the inbox and say, oh my God, I can't believe you interviewed my father. I thought he was a deadbeat. Nah, we found him.
Yeah, we found
And
him.
he gave us some bread.
Shout out to Maury.
The bread that you've been missing for 18 years.
Damn, that's rough.
Rough.
Real talk. So let's get it popping, bro. We've been gone for a minute.
Because I promise that we will come back. Just like Lebron James School is officially in session.
Before we get to that though,
Right.
because we're definitely about to talk about LeBron James.
Right. His forehead's still big. That didn't change either. Keep the same energy. You don't like him now, don't like him now.
The hairline's still going back. It's
Right.
definitely keeping the same energy.
Right. You ain't like him now, don't like him now.
It's definitely keeping the same energy. So let's start with our icebreaker. We got who do you call? We're gonna do a who do you call.
Okay.
So who are you calling to play you for a biopic? Let's do BET biopic. Who you call? Who's gonna play you?
Who gonna play me? Shut up, bitch. Cause that's what they do.
Wait, what?
Play niggas.
What the fuck was that, bro?
Who?
This nigga's
Saying that's what they do. Like they just play niggas. Like,
Who is the person playing you in the biopic, son? I need answers.
I'm not Kanye, and you're not Sway. I can't give you anything.
Oh, so we really not gonna get an answer from you.
What do you want from me?
Tyrese. Tyrese is definitely playing me in the biopic, like the older version. I don't know who's playing the young version. I'm really trying to think of like a little kid, but then I want to sound like a pedophile or.
Yeah, we're not gonna. No,
Right.
Shout out to R. Kelly and his 19-minute song.
I'm not trapped in the closet.
Well, you know who got me. I'm gonna pick Michael B. Jordan. I'm gonna go for that. Michael B. Jordan's gonna play me.
Wasn't we just talking about him the other day in some chick conversation?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Shorty I used to deal with.
Oh, you don't?
Is infatuated. I don't fuck. Nah. I changed my energy. I ain't keep the same energy with these shorties. It's over.
You still gonna call a name?
And I ain't calling names.
Keep that same energy.
They're not worth calling a name.
Oh, snap.
Alright, so let's get right into it. LeBron James, bro.
Where the fuck we going? LeBron James. I'm not really a basketball fan or like like a basketball head, so I'm not gonna front like I am. But we know LeBron James recently just lost the NBA championship to another team that, for some say, is just overall better because this is what their third, fourth time coming through and doing what they do.
Bring out the brooms.
Yeah, I mean that's really what happened. But LeBron, D-Flow touched on it earlier. LeBron James made a power move.
Facts.
And the power move was LeBron James in his small town where he comes from in Cleveland, Ohio, created a school. And not just a school that got fucking free tuition and guarantees that every graduate that goes gets a scholarship. I was just like, LeBron James on a whole nother level. Free uniform I saw on that paper. I was like, God damn, free uniform, free school lunch.
I mean, the fact that it is directed towards at-risk youth.
And where he come from.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a win all, and it works with the public school system.
Right.
So it's just a win all around. There's no way you can fault that man. But you were telling me that the conversation kind of devolved into, well, what's cooking with Umar Johnson?
Yeah, so there's two conversations cooking. One that I kind of share the same view with everybody else, and then the other view is just like, I don't know what happened with the view. The first view is that LeBron James did something that Umar Johnson couldn't. Now, we remember, some of y'all don't know, some of y'all not in the fake stable community. Umar Johnson has been trying to build a school for a very long time. I want to say the last, probably 8+10 years. And he did raise a lot of money for the school because there was a time you can go to his GoFundMe and you can see he raised over, it was definitely well over $1 million.
So what happened to the money?
I don't know what happened to the money. And
that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it. But people will also try to denounce him as a real psychologist. They will also try to denounce all his degrees. They will try to denounce all of that. So they're basically saying that LeBron James built a school. But then the other argument to that is, but LeBron James has been really getting money from just playing basketball. Umar is not a celebrity on a celebrity status where he's making X amount of bread. He's knowledgeable in a lot of things that he talks about, but his bread ain't really coming from that.
It's not as long.
And it's not as long. His shit coming from public speaking. LeBron James just puts a basket in the hoop and he Gucci.
And you gotta also think about it that LeBron is also a public figure who could get grants and who could get sponsorships from big people.
Anytime you want.
Anytime you want.
We're talking about a man that has a lifetime fucking deal with Nike. Y'all know what lifetime means? That's like a lifetime award. He gonna continuously get paid from Nike until he dies. He could fall off today. Nike still gotta pay him.
Plus, think about it from this perspective. LeBron could walk into any company and be like, yo, I'm trying to do something for the inner city youth and get bundles of bread. Like, anybody will be willing to partner with him because he has such a clean-cut slate.
This is a fact.
So, even with his school, I'm not doubting that it's his and what he's done to develop it.
Right.
But I'm 100% sure he has quite a few partners in that project with him that are investing money as well.
Right.
So
I also think Umar Johnson is trash. So I mean, I like some of his. Like I've said before, I said in season 1, I like some of his ideologies, but I also feel like he has a lot of interpersonal things that he kind of has to battle with that LeBron, as far as we know, as far as the public eye can see, hasn't had to deal with. We know about Umar Johnson and the stripper situation, the school, GoFundMe. A lot of people like, well, what happened to the money? Because he asked for a lot of money, but nobody knows where it went. So I just feel like Umar, as much as he may be knowledgeable, he is working off of, he has a motive.
Right.
And I feel like LeBron James, you can say whatever you want about LeBron James, but LeBron James is always straightforward with what it is. If he feels a certain type of way, he's going to tell you exactly how he feels.
He's straightforward with his shit. You know what I mean? It's facts.
That too.
He's not even straightforward. He's straightforward.
That
see that shit?
But
Fittest can't control that.
Umar just seems like he has a motive behind what he's doing.
A bad motive?
I don't know what the motive is. I don't think it's all positive. I can say that much.
Yikes.
But because I just feel like some of the things that he decides he wants to attack, he knows is not going to benefit his cause.
And he a big nigga. If he attacks somebody, it's a rap. You ever saw him in person?
Nah.
I mean, think about it. You dealt with a stripper, right? But then you're also telling women what they should be doing.
He dealt with a stripper?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
That was the whole thing. That was the whole thing in the beginning when he first kind of got on the scene.
Listen, I avoided that when I was telling people on that girl. Come on now.
Drip, drip, drip.
I avoided it.
But yeah, so I think that's pretty much for me the biggest difference.
Right.
And then you were saying Michael Jordan.
Yeah, so the other piece to the LeBron situation is people are saying, shout out to LeBron James, but y'all still fucking supporting Jordan, who literally has investments in industrial complexes, aka prisons, aka life-term sentences, and he's making a killing and has been making a killing for a very long time. Ever since I found that information out about Jordan, I never supported another Jordan brand again. Ever. Because I get what they're saying, and I kind of agree with that. It's hard for me as a business owner to really look at it as a business move when people are suffering and you're actually getting money off of them suffering. It's not your fault that they're in prison, but it is your fault that you are in a position where you're like, yo, if I can control how much money I make of every time a black person gets in prison, I'm good. Because it's not just black men, he's getting money off of black women too. For all we know, black children who end up in prison for a crime that, and then they get charged as an adult. Shit's wild. Trying to call Jordan out? Shit's wild.
Shout out to Ashanti for joining.
Oh, okay.
She called me Miguel. Called me Miguel.
Ashanti, what's up? How you living, boo?
You know what I mean?
Alright. But yeah, so it's basically saying like, how we not a LeBron James, but we still buying Jordans, and this dude getting money off of people in prison. That's the other argument. I'm just like, yeah, our priorities a little fucked up on that one. Definitely, because niggas still gonna rock them Jordans, and they gonna be like, fuck LeBron school. Meanwhile, your kids is going to school probably every time they get Jordans getting harassed. Probably getting robbed.
Getting robbed for Jordan.
Probably getting killed. Probably getting set up over some sneakers. Meanwhile, LeBron's like, free tuition, free education. School uniform. And what he's doing there is, I'm literally debunking what this kid got on with that guy. He may not be able to control his shoes, or maybe he can, but as far as a shirt or and a skirt and a blouse and some pants, that's regulated. The I Promise Academy will be all over that.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't gonna have no issue with them shits.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had issues with Jordan. I think.
You met him personally?
Nah.
That's all. You doing this? That's why you like this.
Nah, I always had issues. I just had issues with. I mean, if you really follow Jordan's career, and some of it is not his fault because of the era that he came up in, but if you really follow Jordan's career, he's catered to being white in a sense all his career, or at least whiteness in America. He's catered to that ideology, almost like Tiger Woods of basketball. Like, that's kind of how I see it, where he didn't say he wasn't black or anything like that.
Right.
But everything was kind of catered to that. But that was what the 90s was like. If you were an athlete or an artist, it kind of was like you had to go in that direction to be considered mainstream. So I can't like fault him for it, but I do feel like a lot of how he feels about or how he represents the community is based off of that ideology of like, let me cater to the white person. Even though the shoes go to the black person, but everything that happens for black people is about him getting money. It's not about him supporting. I haven't seen him do anything big for any community of color, in my opinion.
Wow.
And that's really what it comes down to for me and Jordan. But it might be because he's insecure. Speaking of insecure, you like that segue?
That was a good segue.
We on it. We on it season 2.
Good segue. Jordan, support your kids, bro.
Yeah.
Facts.
Just stick to that.
His wife is white, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Support your kids.
Anyways.
They in danger. Insecure. No Lawrence in season 3. Well, if you guys have been watching Insecure, you know that Insecure is probably one of HBO's biggest hits since God knows when, since
Oz.
Since porn on HBO. You know, it's just
HBO shows porn?
I think late night.
Do they still do that?
I didn't know they still did that.
I don't think they do that no more.
When I was in high school.
Oh damn! See,
Cinemax and HBO.
Shit up, this nigga telling on himself.
Hey, everybody watched it, bro.
The meat definitely got beat to some HBO before.
Damn, bro.
Facts. It is what it is.
We're talking about a lot of dick lately. Alright, cool. So,
nigga, you are not the one to talk about.
Hold on.
Facts.
Why are you pointing this at me? It look like a dick. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Another episode of Ass and Both Sides.
He's over here dangling.
I don't know.
Like, what are you trying to shoot off?
But you were saying. I'm sorry, y'all.
This nigga over here, wow.
And Joe, what's good, baby?
Don't call my client that.
What's good, baby?
Oh, okay. This is the last one. Anyway,
Niggas want to send you a formal email, my nigga, expressing his
and you
complaint.
know how I do with them emails, baby. All right. Anyway,
So you can call it baby.
Yes.
You can't call it baby?
No.
That's wild.
Now that's
Yeah, that sounds wild, right?
That's not professional, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for teaching me how to run my business.
Okay.
Anyways.
Damn, bro. This is what happens when you try to help black people out, bro.
Black business.
Anyways, go to your Twitchy. Jay Ellis.
I'll be good. I would enjoy that.
It's Jay Ellis is no longer.
Always fat shaming, bro.
This is
You're not fat. You thick.
Ooh, we got 5 eyes on the live. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all niggas love us today.
So Jay Ellis is no longer going to be on Insecure for this season. But I was saying that, this is actually good for him to get to, explore. Probably try to get on another network,
Who's Jay Ellis?
Jay Ellis is the guy who plays Lawrence.
Oh, that's his actual name.
Yeah, you really do not watch television.
I do. I don't know niggas' actual names.
That's not good. What's my actual name?
I don't know.
What's my real name? Oh, you see what the fuck I'm talking? You don't know my real name.
Nah, there's definitely been a couple of girls that I dated,
Right.
and I met them in the industry, and I don't know what their real name is. And I thought about it like, damn, if we ever got caught up somewhere, and cops are like, yo, so who are you with?
But that's why we got acronyms. That guy over there.
My nigga, how many people really do know your real name?
Not a lot of people.
Exactly.
He mad tight. He had to bring it back.
Had to bring it back.
Don't fix your shirt. Keep it crumpled. Don't show me that toaster roll.
I'm good.
I just ate the mic. Pause.
Anyway, what type of fart laugh is that?
This nigga.
We don't want to talk about farts, bro.
I let it go.
Damn.
Jay Ellis is no longer turning back on Insecure for this season. I think the direction that Issa and the crew is trying to go, and I guess trying to show life from her perspective, if he wasn't necessarily there, because in real life that doesn't really happen. Like the ex was always lingering in there unless he gets shot or he go to jail. In this particular, they just taking a nigga off the show. Like, nigga, you coming off the show.
I mean, I kind of respect the idea to write it. So when I was reading into it, I was hearing, like, they were basically saying, which I agree with, sometimes your ex does leave your life. I hear what you're saying too, though. Like, the ex is, when an ex like Lawrence is always in the cut somewhere. Ex like Lawrence can fuck on demand. Like, he called Issa right now and
Wow,
fuck.
damn.
But I remember a girl I used to date where I dated her. Her name was Diamond. I dated her. What you want me to say, son?
This nigga, man.
Say the name, right? Her name was Diamond. I dated her for a quick minute, and then we stopped talking. She disappeared for a whole year and a half, and then we reconnected a year and a half later. Shout out to Diamond.
That sounds. Oh,
You
man.
know what I mean?
What type of relationship was that?
Shout out to Diamond.
Why you gotta be so insecure?
My point is, all right. My point is.
Wait, is Diamond on?
It's not that. It's not that Diamond either.
Oh,
It's not even. I know multiple diamonds for those who might be watching. And
I'm covering the mic.
I know mad diamonds. Like I know at least 4 diamonds. So everybody needs to relax.
Diamonds are not forever.
But anyway, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Bro.
But yeah. So I like the idea of like the ex not being in the show. I think that's creative writing that they don't do on shows, and that is real life to me. That's
So
what
you're saying other shows is trash when they don't try to incorporate that?
I mean, other shows.
Storyline.
I think other shows focus too much on like trying to keep the audience happy. And I think Issa is making a bold move of being like, I'd rather depict real life.
Right.
Even though it's a dramedy, like it's a comedy and a drama.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm trying to be closer to real life where people do leave your life. And that happens a lot of times. Like, it happens a lot where people may leave your life and they might come back a year later. And I think that that's cool. Now, it's a risk, though, because he was, like, pretty much number 2 in the show. So you're going to lose all those fans. And not a lot of people fuck with Daniel. A lot of people say they don't fuck with Daniel's character. So this season has to really hit with the themes.
Everything.
And if it doesn't hit, then season 3 might tank.
Well, I mean, whether it hit or not, you said Lawrence got a 25 dog pass, so he could hit at will, right?
I mean, the type of
I like what I did there, right? Haha, freaks.
This nigga. The type of ex that Lawrence is, like in real life, that's the nigga that calls her every night after the club. And
I'm sure we had a few of those.
And that's the nigga she calls when she gets drunk at the club and she want dick.
D-Flow giving me a high
That's
power in
Lawrence.
the corner.
I have no knowledge of what these gentlemen are talking about.
I used to have a lot of chicks like that.
So, bro, what do you think season 3 is gonna look like?
Season 3 is probably gonna look like Life Without Lawrence.
This nigga.
According to the article, that's what they said, right?
Whose man's is
That's
this?
what they said.
Man.
And so according to the article, it's gonna be Life Without
What
Lawrence.
themes do you think they're gonna cover? I mean, we know Dro is probably gonna get a bigger role.
I think they're gonna cover a lot of what's been happening today. The last season did a very good job of covering stuff on Trayvon Martin. They covered stuff on what happened when you get pulled over by a cop. They covered stereotypes and criticism that come with, you know, you being a single man and you just break up with a chick and then you meet 2 girls who are not of the same race as you, and then they do that whole thing where it's like they try to downplay you and your masculinity when you come too fast, and they're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, that was trash.
I'm just
That was
a
trash.
black man. I thought that was like, whoa, that's to me that was like a jab. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, that shit was wild.
Issa, you let that shit slide? That's wild. Nice for what, right? Okay. All right.
It's rough.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have more. I think we're gonna have more Dro. I think we're gonna have more Molly, for sure.
That's what we doing? I didn't even know we was about that life.
Popping pills, I'm sweating. Woof.
I didn't know we was about that life.
Yeah, I think more Molly. I think
Focus
more
on
Dro.
the facts.
I think we're gonna have. I'm hoping that because season 2 to me kind of got slightly cartoonish. Like there was a lot that was happening. You know, like the whole when she got the cum in her face and she overreacted. Like I feel like that was overreaction.
I'm just thinking about
Like no girl in 2018 is gonna get cum on their face and act like she acted. Like nobody's doing that.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, so like I feel like there were elements of the show that was
I
like
don't know. I've definitely tried to come on a few chicks' head and they pulled what she pulled.
nah, what she pulled was extra, bro.
What exactly did she do that was extra? You know?
You didn't see how she wasn't talking to the nigga?
Yeah.
That ain't never happened to me.
That almost happened to me.
That ain't never
I
happened
tried
to
to
me.
do it when she was asleep.
That sounds like I think we just lost 2 followers.
Yeah. I don't know what this guy's talking about right now. It's borderline illegal, bro. Honestly, we're gonna admit that I don't even want to be associated with that comment, to be honest with you.
So Lawrence Hive has been the sponsored petition. I just want to throw that out there. Somebody spent money. A lot of people already talked about that. So we're just gonna talk about Drake and Shiggy.
Oh man. Oh man. I hope she still loves me. She's not riding no more, but she said she would never leave from beside me.
So a lot of people are saying that Drake. I'm not. A lot of people are saying that Drake should be mentoring Shiggy.
That's enough. She can help you get money. You put him in a video, right? And that's it.
I think that was supposed to drop today too.
Mentorship is a stretch.
What do you think Shiggy should be getting out of this?
Shiggy should be getting some bread, and Shiggy should be probably signed to one of Drake's labels, and then the label figure it out from there.
Is he an artist?
No, he's a comedian, so he's an artist. He's not a recorder.
Is he a recording artist?
He is a rap artist. He said that on the Breakfast Club, but he doesn't take it seriously. And he did do poetry. Poetry was fire. So he's an artist, but he's not taking that side of his art seriously. He's really concerned about trying to blow up the Shiggy show. Like, that's what his main concern is. And with Drake's backing, he could do it, because...
I mean, he's getting enough by just getting the publicity. I think that's the biggest...
He needs break money. I don't think Drake gotta pay him per se, but Drake gotta give him something for that. I mean, I feel like Drake gotta give him at least $100K. You heard that too, right? Drake gotta give him at least $100K.
What was it?
Sounded like a phone.
Yeah, some weird noise.
Yeah.
That's wrong. I don't know. I don't even know if Drake should be giving him money, honestly.
Really?
Nah, because it's not like they had a deal beforehand where it was like, yo, bro, if you help me get to number one, I could do, like, Shiggy decided to do it on his own. Shiggy was doing it mainly for him because Drake at the time was trending.
Okay.
So Drake was trying. I don't think Drake knew that song would hit as hard as it did.
Right.
But Drake dropping just trends.
Right.
So Shiggy found the song that everybody was liking because everybody fell in love with that song.
Right.
And I don't even think Drake thought it was going to be as hot as it was because he didn't make it a single originally.
Drake didn't, man, because when I first heard the record, when you played it in the office, I was like, oh, that's a regular record. That's some shit that you listen to when it's on, and then that's it. And if you want to turn it off, you do. But now what's all gonna be in your head is Shiggy's challenge. Not even Drake's song no more.
So I think that Shiggy just took the song, did what he did to it, and I don't even think Shiggy knew it would get as big.
Shiggy was just looking for the next challenge, because this is not the first time. You guys gotta remember, Shiggy been doing this for a minute. But this is the biggest thing by far that he's done that has catapulted what he's doing on social media, and potentially could take him out of the social media world and still keep him there. But when I say that, I mean get on like these other kids that's getting these Sprite endorsements and these Adidas, like running out here, like really about to shake BT up. He been quiet, but we know he working.
Fatboy SSC.
Fatboy SSC just got signed to a label, from what I was told.
No, I think he did a movie too, the new Master P movie.
That's because. I think Master P, so one of those people, Master P signed him, correct. Master P did sign Fatboy.
To No Limit.
Yeah, yes he did. So I was like, Master P really trying to reinvent No Limit right now, while Cash Money's on the fucking decline. Nigga.
That's rough.
Make him say, ooh, na 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 na.
That's rough.
That's crazy.
Percy Miller.
I mean, I also feel like Drake doesn't have the best track record developing talent.
That's a fact.
I could
Like
agree.
Obi, he had Obi O'Brien.
Damn.
He had
I love.
Party Next Door is the only one that's
Is the
successful.
only, yeah, so I guess we could say one.
I Love McConan.
Yeah,
Trash.
One hit wonder. That was it.
P. Rain came back for one song.
I don't know who that is.
Exactly.
Sound like he pissed. What is this P stands for piss?
Magic Jordan.
Magic Jordan. Okay, trying too hard with the name. Trying, nigga. You can't be Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. You gotta figure it out.
Magic Jordan, and then you got the short little situation I was with him in the weekend for a moment. Like none of it has really.
And the weekend
panned
has
out.
by far surpassed all the artists that Drake has ever tried to help.
And-
Even Party Next
And
Door.
let's talk about Party Next Door. Party Next Door really seems to be on decline too. Like
Party Next Door is taking off just as a writer.
That's it.
He's
Right.
making most of his money just writing.
Party
songs.
Next Door. I
'Cause
need you to hold this corner.
He just sounds like Drake with auto-tune.
That's it.
That's really what it is.
Party
Like,
Next Door is the black version of Drake without being Drake.
when Drake wants to just sing,
Right.
that's what Party Next Door sounds like with auto-tune.
Pretty much.
So,
Can't even
Not
lie
special.
to you right now.
so I don't know if I really want that, but I do want them to continue to have a relationship. I think that just being close will help Shiggy get into the places, and maybe Drake can help open certain doors. But like an official mentorship, like a signed or he's on OVO, I don't know if I want that.
I think it's what's crazy. What's crazy about with Drake and developing artists for me is just I never really understood how he can't do it.
Right.
Because I feel like he helps catapult so many careers
And so many other records
that
too.
aren't his.
Right, that just jump on it. and be
That's
like,
like Block Boy.
yo,
Like,
that record
this
would have been
dude-
nothing without Drake.
And it's like now he's almost pretty much an
Block
A-list
Boy.
celebrity.
Lil Baby.
Little Baby. I didn't even know who Little Baby
I
was
didn't
until
even
his
know
record
who
started
Lil-
taking
I
off.
actually like Lil Baby. I like that record with him though. That one I like.
I didn't know who he was, bro.
I was like, is this
the
Baby's real
Migos,
son?
all of these mega stars right
Migos
now.
definitely got popping over Versace.
Versace. If Drake never jumped on that Versace remix,
would not
they
really
would
have
have.
Amigos.
Yeah.
They would probably still be popping, But not the mega stars that they are now.
Popping, bro.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Drake's verse was crazy on that.
Drake is the reason why cats even took a listen to that record. I feel like
that's the truth about it.
Because actually, I like the beat more when Drake got.
And then they didn't. I think they solidified themselves when they did that. My broke nigga standing to the left.
Fight night. Fight night put them on, but the Versace gave them the platform.
Yeah.
And I think Drake does that so often. I can't understand why he can't do that with an artist he's developing.
Right.
I feel like all he has to do is the same formula. Find a popping artist that's dope.
Drake got to talk to 50 Cent.
I think
literally almost every
Drake
artist
is just doing it backwards.
Yeah.
He's trying to develop an artist instead of just finding someone who's popping and endorsing them and letting them just rock.
Drake got to talk to 50
I also think Drake is trying to just do the stimulus package with these artists. I mean, he did try to get an artist that was popping with McConan, but he didn't. McConan only had one song.
McConan didn't have that. I think what happens is a lot of times they get invested in an artist where they have a good song and they want to ride the wave with that song. But if the artist can't produce other hits besides that,
You had to, I feel like you had to have known McConan didn't have much in him. Like, he had one song, son. And then you jumped on him as soon as you heard the... I don't know, I feel like Drake is one of them cats that falls in love with the art. He just, he hears something dope, and he be like, yo, I want to be close to this person without
Tell me
really
what you
seeing.
really like.
But that's where Drake is going to. This is his, now he's getting to that part where he has to form a legacy.
He does.
And
he needs an artist under him.
He needs a president.
He needs someone to take over the OVO brand.
Yeah.
He needs a protege.
Yeah.
He needs someone who can take over the OVO brand
He need a fluffer
and run
too.
with it.
Yeah, he need a fluffer if he ain't got that.
Pretty sure he's getting multiple.
Yeah, he definitely needs. He needs that next person that's going to keep him relevant as he starts to get older and potentially starts to decline in relevancy.
What if that next person is his son in like 10 years? When his son is like 10 and his son could rap like crazy, be like, oh shit.
I doubt it.
Oh, yeah.
That's too far out too. You don't know what the industry's gonna be like. He needs someone right now. Right now. Like he should be if he's not already, he needs someone right now.
That's the best way to have his next album be bigger than this album.
For sure.
Scorpion is by far the biggest album
Because
of the year.
If you produce the next biggest act, like what when Wayne did that with Drake, Wayne was declining. But as soon as he brought Drake and Nicki out, he became super relevant.
Lil Wayne almost became immortal when Drake came out. It was like, oh, Lil Wayne is that nigga.
Yeah, he didn't have to make music, but we all knew that if he did make music, we would still go and cop it because it's like, yo, you found Drake and you found Nicki. That means that your next album might be super fire. And then while you taking a break, I could listen to Drake and Nicki for the next 5 to 6 years. You don't have to do much to be relevant.
Wayne ain't got to make another record again. Wayne doesn't have to make another album again.
But
he can make an album if he wants to.
We need Carter 5 though. We need Carter 5.
I don't think we do.
Nah, we need Carter 5.
I'm not missing Lil Wayne.
We've been waiting for like, what, 4 years now?
I don't miss Lil Wayne. Maybe y'all, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I don't miss Lil Wayne.
I think Wayne is done. I feel like he's done.
If he drops Carter 5, I'll listen to it just to hear it, but I'm not listening to it because I'm feeling to hear Wayne.
Be a classic.
The only way I get hyped for Wayne again is if Carter 5 sounds like Carter 3.
Yeah, I agree with that. Carter 5 has to sound like Carter 3, if not better. Carter 3 was too classic.
Yeah, Carter 3 was
too classic.
But I don't know if Wayne got that in him anymore.
I mean,
I feel like he's been trying with them dedication mixtapes that he came out with, and they're all trash.
Wayne has a master's degree. He's gonna figure this out. He's a master.
But you also got to think about the fact that, for me personally, Wayne is dope, but I never took Wayne serious enough for me to be like, I'm vested into the Lil Wayne album. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like, I always thought of him like, oh, you can murder a verse.
Right.
That's as far as my mentality went for me. Like, beyond that, I was just like, even Carter 3, it's cool.
Right.
Is it a great album? No. Is it great for Lil Wayne? Yes. But to me, if I want to compare it to other projects,
I don't know. I kind of feel like it definitely competed with Graduation.
Nah.
Wow. I felt like it did.
I respect your opinion.
I felt like he showed his lyrical talent, he showed flow, and he had a variety of different type of songs.
He did, bro, but when I put on Graduation, that's a feeling, bro. Like you get it's a
Get
vibe.
up, he put his big push. Did you realize I hit the stomach that you were a champion? That tip, can I get a burger? Yes, I did.
When you put that project on, it gives you a feeling though. Like
It does, but I feel like they're computable for sure.
Yeah, in the radio wise.
Lollipop, and that year, Lil Wayne definitely overtook Kanye as the best rapper.
I mean, Lil Wayne won those awards at the BET Awards, and then at one point he was competing with T.I., who won them just back to back when he dropped King, and then he dropped T.I. versus T.I.P. You know?
I think at that time too, Wayne was bringing in that transitional sound too.
Okay.
The sounds were different. The era was changing in that time frame too.
T-Pain was doing shit.
Business was
going crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, alright, so cool. Speaking of Drake, he got a new show coming out called Euphoria. It's gonna be on HBO.
He's putting the producer hat on. I see you, just.
And Zendaya's supposed to be one of the lead actors, and basically, from what it sounds like, is it's gonna be a more mature adult version of Degrassi.
I haven't seen a lot of her work, to be honest. So I really don't know shit about this girl. I've seen her, but to be like, oh, I went to go support Zendaya movie, now you're not gonna catch me doing that.
Yeah. So the show is basically revolves around teens who are dealing with puberty, sex, drugs, and coming into themselves.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else. Like, wait a second.
You heard
that came out right.
So that's what the show is about, and I don't know. Like I'm here for it. I always feel like the teenage time frame is probably one of the most interesting time frames for film or TV to explore because it's literally about finding out who you are. So there's so many different directions, and drama lives in being a teenager. But I feel like for me, more drama is when I'm older. But
yeah, but check it out. Degrassi really taught me a lot. Like Degrassi was one of the first shows to talk to me about rape culture. They had a 2-hour special on the girl.
Was this before or after you tried to nut on a girl while she was sleeping?
Oh, that was after. That was like a grown ass woman, and she got really. She didn't know what I was trying to do, but I had to take a photo of her and all that.
yo, bro.
When we said this is the world's most dangerous podcast, I realized we were not joking. That was not hyperbole.
I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So are you here for like an adult version of that?
I mean, yeah, because like I said, Degrassi told me a lot. The episode where they probably told Drake in the contract, we're doing this to Jimmy's character, he gotta get shot. And I was like, damn, out of the whole fucking show, a black dude really gets shot. No other white kid got shot, so I'm like, interesting.
And to clarify, it's based off of a show that came out in Israel, an Israeli show that I'm not sure if the Israeli, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but a show from Israel that Israelite, whatever.
I'm the one of them fuck words.
I said
yes.
I said Israeli.
Perfect.
Azalea Banks is in my ear right now.
Perfect.
But yeah. So
she one of the diamonds you were talking about?
No. But yeah. So the show is based off of that, and I'm here for it.
I never watched Degrassi, son.
You never watched Degrassi?
Wait, you never watched Degrassi?
I never got into it.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out.
I kind of
Tiffany, get your husband. Get the fuck out.
That sounds like a show Tiffany would definitely have watched.
I don't think that show to believe.
I think Tiffany right now is about to
You get the pass then. You get the pass.
Tiffany is about to go and see if she can go get Degrassi right now on Netflix.
She probably didn't watch it either, bro.
No. Tiff,
it's real tough.
Leave.
It's real tough.
We didn't have it in Belize, bro. I didn't grow up over here. You forget that?
Nah, I didn't forget that. Clearly.
So
you wearing dispense to remind yourself of who you are.
Facts.
Woke. So I'm definitely here for it. What I'm not here for is Monique defending Roseanne.
That's wild.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna just say eat a dick.
Alright, so
oh, shit.
Monique, this is my point, and it stands. How the fuck you defending this woman for all of the
Ashanti said she never watched Degrassi either, by the way. She gotta go. You gotta go.
Ashanti, I'm unfriending you tonight.
Yeah, you about to get canceled.
I'm unfriending you. If you don't watch the episode where where Drake got shot, we not cool no more. Watch that and you learn life. Anyway, the guy who shot him was Rick. Monique defending Roseanne is like Kanye West wearing a MAGA hat. Like George Bush saying, you know, the worst part of his presidency was when Kanye West said he didn't like black people. It's just stupid. It's just
George
stupid.
Bush said that?
Yeah, in his book, George Bush said in his book that the worst part of his entire presidency is when Kanye West said he didn't like black people.
So all the wild shit that happened in his presidency.
I was like, so all the wild shit, including the towers, obviously, but the other shit like No Child Left Behind, and you know when you was playing golf when shit was going down in fucking New York City, like, you know, and then people was trying to email you and send you letters, and you just wasn't opening and reading them, you know. Anyways, yeah, that's what he said.
I just don't understand how
that's what he said.
you can call sexism, racism, and gender bias against Netflix because you didn't get the money that you wanted, but you're okay with what Roseanne is doing.
Monique is a big hypocrite.
Or at least sitting there saying like, oh, we shouldn't cancel Roseanne. But it's like, yo, Roseanne been saying racist shit. This is not the first time.
Definitely not. And it probably won't be the last.
So
we don't know what she's saying behind closed doors.
It's a mistake if it's like the first time. This isn't the first time. So like, you know her track record. And at this point, I'm starting to question if, Monique, are you doing things just to stay relevant? Are you doing a Bow Wow challenge?
Wow.
That's wild.
Wow.
That's what I want to know.
That's wild.
They don't know me.
They don't know me, dog.
Shut up.
Sit down.
That's crazy.
Go work at the Best Buy or GameStop you want to work at.
Damn. Speaking of that,
You fellow.
So Def, I don't know if I'm here for this reunion concert.
So deaf.
I don't know if I'm
They
here
having a
for
reunion
So
tour
deaf.
They're doing a reunion tour.
That's not gonna sell out.
with Brett, Jagged Edge,
Jagged Edge,
Bow Wow.
Bow Wow.
I don't know if I'm here for that.
So deaf. Didn't they have a so deaf where it was what is the name of this group?
So next.
No, the Shake That Laughing Tap. What wasn't they a part of?
D4L was not a part
Okay,
of
okay.
So Deaf.
They all in the same.
I think they had the dude, the white tees.
Right, I was about to say, oh, with my white tee, you gonna have.
I think they were signed to So Deaf.
Jermaine Dupri, nobody coming for that, bro. Nobody's coming back to that era like Janet
If they bring out
Jackson.
Usher, if they bring out Usher in one or two times, Usher was never signed to
Usher
So
was really
Deaf.
not a part of it, but Usher's a good starting seller.
Their headline artist is Bow Wow. And
Are you serious? Oh,
and that nigga is saying he's gonna work for GameStop. Because
He said that?
He said he's quitting music, but I could have swore music quit him years ago. So
You ain't fresh as I mean. You ain't bitter.
that was the last fire song by the
as
state, bro.
You serious?
I'm dead. He put a bunch of tweets up saying he's gonna quit music and work at GameStop. I don't
And
know
I
if he's
ain't
gonna
met a girl
do it.
like you.
But what I do know is Bow Wow's hurting. He definitely needs help. Like he
Can't
needs
get
therapy,
you out of my system.
and he's not really
You
getting that.
know what you do
Like,
to me.
He's been kind of doing things, reaching out for help, and I feel like I don't know who's around him. in the
Angela
industry.
Simmons ain't coming back.
I don't know who's around him in the industry, but they're not really helping him out. I
Everything
feel
fell
like.
apart.
And so
Ever since Bow Wow lost Ciara, fell apart. Like You was Bow Wow's and still is today Bow Wow's biggest hit record.
You know what's crazy
Like
about
You.
Bow Wow, bro? Bow Wow had hits.
No,
And
Bow Wow has hits.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? And this is why I knew shit was fucked up.
Oh damn. Uh-oh.
Bow Wow had hits.
Yeah, yes he did.
The CEO of the company he was signed to, and also the nigga who wrote those hits, bankrupt his damn selves.
Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
You never knew Jermaine before bankruptcy. Not
No.
to say that he's broke, but that just says a lot.
That does say a lot. Bow Wow, yo, I remember so much
So-
Bow Wow records when I was a kid.
But
he
bro,
had hits, bro.
He didn't write those records.
Yeah, he didn't.
So all he was getting is performance rights.
Bro, Bow
So,
Wow, you just don't know.
If the nigga who's taking production and writing credits still goes fucking bankrupt. How much money did you got?
Go there. Dude, represent that. Dude, go there. Y'all remember that? Take
Jermaine Dupri gotta make money DJing right now.
Who just joined?
Damn.
Gino? What's good, bro?
So, at the end of the
Millie
day...
Ice was good. Gino Hampton was good, baby.
So, the way I see it is, if Jermaine Dupri ain't got it, and he's the nigga who's supposed to got it,
Bow ain't got nothing.
what money Bow Wow really got? He ain't getting no more royalties. He ain't making no bread right now.
Bow Wow, this show's about to be canceled if you go to GameStop. We're no longer growing up hip hop.
So, yeah. So, let's talk really quickly about this little, I mean, it's a little old, but Mike Epps was wilding on Kevin Hart. Well, no.
It's not old. Mike Epps is old.
They went back and forth a little bit, like about 3 weeks ago, because Mike Epps pretty much, any chance he gets, he says that Kevin Hart isn't funny.
A lot of people say that. A lot of comedians are salty, bro.
Yeah, and then Kevin Hart came back at him and was on some...
I'm trying to help you, Mike. I try to help you.
And was on some, like, yo, I don't understand where all this animosity is coming from, this, that, and the third. But the conversation that kind of came from it, when I was on Shade Room, shout out to Shade Room, is that a lot of people don't feel like Kevin Hart is funny anymore.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, right?
Man.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. I've watched.
Rico has his day.
I watched the Meet the Blacks movie. It was trash. I saw. You ever saw that Nick Cannon movie? He had brought out a movie with like high school. I forgot the name of it.
You talking about the Drumline? No,
not Drumline.
Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Nah. It's a recent movie, bro.
Oh, recent. Okay.
Yeah, it's a recent one.
Movies?
Yeah, the movie was funny as shit, bro. It had Mike Epps in it.
Who wrote it?
Nick Cannon wrote.
Nick Cannon is still funny like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a recent movie that came out like late 2017.
What was he doing? Wilding Out?
He wasn't in the movie. He directed and produced it.
Oh, he left.
So Kevin Hart was in the movie. Mike Epps was in the movie. That little short dude, I can't remember his name.
Tracy Morgan?
Nigga, no.
You
bro.
said a little short dude.
Tracy Morgan's in the little short dude.
Well, you're not talking about Kevin Hart because you already.
Kevin Hart was in the movie.
But you just said short dude.
There's another little short nigga in the movie, bro. Jesus Christ. So, anyways, Mike Epps was a bigger focal point in the movie than Kevin Hart. But the scenes Kevin was in was funny as fuck.
Damn.
And the scenes that Mike had were dry. Like, he overdid it. So
I don't feel Mike Epps can ever be funnier than Kevin Hart.
I think what people don't take into consideration is Kevin Hart has the same type of energy that you would get from like an Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Where their bodily expressions. Like, in terms of a stand-up comic, he might not be the best stand-up comic, but because of his movements. Right. If I was just listening to a Kevin Hart special, it wouldn't be funny, but watching it, it's funny.
So that's the argument that kind of came out of it is Kevin Hart a comedian or a clown? And basically,
he's a clown for sure.
He's definitely.
That's what a lot of people are saying. They feel like he's a clown more than a comedian.
Which is fine though, because everybody has their gimmick.
He has a Laugh Out Loud network. Need I say more?
I also feel like everybody has their gimmick, and I also feel like if comedy is also another form of art of storytelling, you need that expressionism to really tell that story. And there are some people who are really good at wordsmiths, and there are people who are really good with punchlines.
Yeah, and then there's mumble rappers.
Right.
And you also gotta realize we live in a generation where people need to see movement.
I was about to say visuals
are like
content is king. Everybody.
People want to see these young kids are all about expression. So that's why Kevin Hart is hitting home runs with the younger generation because they watch him and they're like, oh snap, he's very expressive. He makes jokes on himself.
And he's creating a lot of content at a very fast pace. I mean, he has so out of the Laugh Out Loud network, I didn't know that in that he's creating mini quote unquote signature brands. Yeah. What's the name of the brand that when he's talking and then whoever says something stupid, they gotta go in that big ass ice bucket, cold as balls or some shit? No, it was he had an episode.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
Okay, it was the first episode was with LeVar Ball. And they both was talking shit. It was in a locker room, and they had the water filled up with ice, and they had to literally go in there as they're telling jokes back and forth. and that's taken off. Then he got another brand where he's playing around, and then the workout dude that he always work out with be like bossing him around. I'm like, Kevin Hart really out here doing a lot, and it's just everywhere.
And that's not take for granted. He's a great actor.
No, I like him as an
He's
actor.
a better actor than the majority of
He
the
got
other
better
comedians.
actors.
I think you know what the problem is. I think what I've been saying is he's become white funny,
Oh damn.
and I think
Jay Farrow, I got you.
white famous would be just that, but he's become white funny in the sense of like he's been doing Jumanji. He's been catering to that audience, and I do agree that sometimes when you cater to that audience, you have to coon a little bit. Like
That's for sure.
you have to take your jokes and make them extreme. But I also feel like at any moment Kevin can do another stand-up tour and it'd be wild, stupid, funny.
I mean, the Irresponsible tour, from what I'm told, is doing very good. From people that I know that went on the tour, they're like, anytime they went to a town or an arena, it's been sold out. I'm like, you can't make that up. We're talking about a man who sold out the Garden, telling jokes.
He sold out the Eagles Stadium,
right.
bro.
That Kevin
Like,
Hart is who we're talking about, not
like,
some regular ass comedian from Philadelphia.
I mean, people can say what they want about Kevin, but at the end of the day, you can't discredit what he's accomplished.
And he's gonna do more. He said he's gonna be a billionaire before he's 40 something.
I don't blame him. So when I see Mike Epps doing things like that, I'm just like, you can't be salty, bro, because you can't produce better content yourself.
That's a fact.
And Mike Epps to me is funny.
He is a funny dude.
Nah, Mike Epps to me is like a hit or miss funny.
Damn.
Like it all depends on the show and the type of, or the show or the movie that he's in. Whatever his character is playing in that is what will determine if he's funny or not. Because he also likes to play serious parts too.
Right.
So I don't know. Mike Epps to me is kind of dry. I'd rather watch Kevin Hart over Mike Epps any day. I'd rather watch Cat Williams over both of them though. Not even gonna hold you.
Now, Cat Williams is a comedian.
For me, it's
but he's expressive as well.
Yeah,
he got both best of both.
What's of both worlds?
For me, it's Cat Williams and Eddie Griffin.
The problem with Cat Williams, he let his personal life just spiral him out of control.
Yeah, he let that kid beat him up. That's wild.
That's wild.
Fucked him all the way.
Yo, that video is really still
Wasn't that kid a young NBA boy or no?
I don't think so. It was like a 15-year-old
Nah, I'm
guy.
over here making shit up.
But alright, so Kid Fury has a new show coming out.
Okay.
I don't know the title of it.
And did they really turn that AC on?
I don't know what's cooking.
Yo, they about to have
I feel like SWAT about to
they
drop
about to have us
out.
cooking here.
But yeah, I don't know what's the name of it, but he's working with what is it? Lena Waithe.
I don't know who that is actually.
She was in Ready Player One.
Okay, I didn't see that. I heard that was trash.
Nah, that movie was fire.
That movie was fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know why I saw on my newsfeed it was trash.
Nah, that movie had probably went to #1, I think.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
It sold out?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ready Player 2 was the worst.
But what I'm curious to see, to me, I think I'm hoping for it to be like LGBTQ Insecure, because it's supposed to follow a gay man in New York City who is like encountered with different things. Basically, it sounds like Kid Fury's biopic, but in I guess a more funny dramatic series type of way.
Who was Kid Fury?
Sounds like a Sex in the
Three.
City for gay people.
Possibly.
You said what?
Sex in the City for just gay for the gay community,
Oh,
for the LGBTQ community.
Oh, okay. It might be.
But what I'm hoping is if it's like Insecure in the sense of it still kind of allows the straight male to get into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like Insecure, when it first came out, was probably marketed. If I was in that marketing room, I was thinking it was going to be towards straight women. Right. But at the end of the day, it engulfed a bunch of straight men. There's a lot of straight men watch Insecure. So I'm hoping
a lot of straight men are insecure.
Possibly.
And a lot of gay men are very secure.
So what I'm hoping though, I don't know, bro.
My nigga.
I'm in for the community.
What I'm hoping though is that it gets the straight community involved, just like how Insecure did.
Right.
And hopefully like it has that type of content.
So the question I want to ask both of you brothers, you gotta keep it on it. I think Love and Hip Hop made it easier for me to say what I'm about to say. Cause you just be watching Love and Hip Hop and then you get to a scene where you see a dude who identifies as gay have a argument with a dude who identifies as gay, and you get to a point where you don't even realize you're still watching Love and Hip Hop. You literally just watching two dudes argue. Then you get to another part, another episode where you see two dudes make up. Then you get to another part where you see where I'm going with this. So it's like the straight viewer now who is not necessarily identifying with either watching that type of stuff on TV or supporting it. They really might get sucked into this new shit. And I don't know if they're gonna look at it from how I'm looking. I'm just looking at it as great content for TV. They might be looking at it as, damn, I'm really like getting involved in the community, or I'm about to learn something.
I think
it's definitely gonna start a conversation.
I think you're looking at it from a good objective standpoint, but the way I look at it is that they're creating content to appeal to that crowd too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it just so happens that we get sucked up in it, but at the end of the day, I don't think it was meant for that purpose. I think it was directed for.
What I do like about this though is it doesn't feel forced. Like I do feel like at times Hollywood, in a way, like the way they depict the culture is almost in like a forced manner. But I feel like, especially with Kid Fury, and Leanna on there, like I feel like it's really a representation of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a boardroom of people sitting down like this is what the gay community wants to see, or this is what the gay community is. Right. You know, you actually have obviously people who are in the community who are curating the show. Right. And just even reading about it, to me, it feels like it's going to be a natural watch. Like I feel like, for instance, Insecure is a natural watch for me. Yeah. I'm genuinely curious about the characters and the storytelling and the development. Right. It doesn't feel like I'm watching something that's for women or something like that. And that's what I'm hoping to get from this show. Like, I'm hoping that that'll be it, and I can watch that, Euphoria, and Insecure like all at the same time.
So we're here for this.
I'm here for it.
We're here for some LGBTQ coming right up.
Me personally, I don't know if I'm gonna get into it. That's just me though. I don't know my comfort level. I don't know if it's gonna be all fine and dandy till it makes me feel weird about it.
I mean, I know there gotta be something wrong with me then, because I'm uncomfortable. Like I seen two dudes make out in Love and Hip Hop, and I watched them literally make out until that scene was done, and I didn't change the channel. I didn't say anything.
I mean, none of that stuff really bothered.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know if the sex scene would do that either. I mean, a lot of us did see Brokeback Mountain, so
I never watched that movie.
Okay, all right, everybody, calm down, just relax.
You're pushing it, bro. You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
I haven't seen it.
What is the community saying? How's that gay viewers? Is everybody okay?
I respect whatever they want to do.
All right, bet, because I'm watching it. Ashanti, you watching this with me? What up? We gonna have playback? Like, hope you like.
We might do a dad and both sides viewing party. Who knows?
Our favorite character.
All right, so let's end this joint off. Unfortunately, we gotta end it in a tragic way.
Damn, yeah, you deliberately put that last.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
So this joint is kind of crazy because it actually hit home for one of my homies. But there was a guy going around using social media apps like Tinder, meeting up with women and killing them. He claims that he killed 7 women.
He's a serial killer.
He's a serial killer.
Ted Bundy.
And what he said was how they caught him was there was a young lady who went out on a date with him. Mm-hmm. He asked her to take him to some park that he left his clothes at. That sounds a little weird to me, but he asked her to do that, and she did it. And when they got there, he strangled her and tried to kill her. But unfortunately, he had already killed a bunch of young women already. So I guess the conversation that can come from that is, how do people stay safe on these apps?
Like I said, not to bring it up in no way, but just to add some context and to just add a perspective. We all know what happened to our little brother Junior, 15 years old, viciously stabbed in the Bronx. Literally I feel like not even a full 2 months has passed yet, just several weeks ago. And now the law that's trying to be passed in his name, in his favor, is that we're going to have a situation where if you are filming something happening to somebody, you are going to literally be an accessory to the crime.
I could agree with that.
Especially if you don't do anything about it. Now, bringing it into context with this, we're going to get to a level now where there's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a more stricter type of policing on these sites. Like, I don't know what type of background check they're doing or if they really even can do an extensive background check to like check you to be cleared to be on this type of site. But like how we have sex offender registry checks, like how we have certain checks when you're like crossing certain borders and you know you're going to different states and you have checks, you got to show proper ID and identification. I think that's what's gonna be. I think that's gonna have to be the next move to really secure the safety of both men and women and everybody going on these dating apps, because we're getting to a point where sooner or later they are going to be banned.
Listen, I'm gonna say how I feel about it. Fuck it. Be smarter. Don't make, that's just bad decisions. If I'm meeting up with you for the first time, I don't know you, there's nothing about you. Like, even if we've been texting, like, you just gotta be smarter. People's motives and their intentions are never clear.
Right.
You feel me? So for me personally, if I'm on a dating app and I'm gonna go on a date with a person I'm meeting for the first time, we're gonna be very public. It's gonna be very, very upfront. And at the end of the day, I don't know you like that, so I'm not gonna go nowhere I'm not too sure of it. I'm not gonna show you where I live. None of that stuff.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's a very hard thing, but you just gotta be smart with it. At the end of the day, you meet people and your guard get let down. Because you might form a genuine interaction with that person. But at the same time, you just got to be smart about what you're doing.
Right.
If a person is going to be like, oh, take me to this spot because I need a favor and this is the first time I'm meeting you, take me to a place, and it's like, well, nah, you can do that on your own time. I'm not going to go with you nowhere I'm unfamiliar with.
Right.
I think that perspective is something to keep in mind. With the last particular case where the girl actually survived, she was dating him for 6 months.
Wow. The same dude.
Yeah, she was dating him for 6 months.
So it was already past that barrier.
She said she was trying to break up with him. I guess, I don't know what he was doing that made her feel like she wanted to break up with him.
Right.
But she was trying to break up with him, and then I guess that was like the final date type of situation where he decided to do that. But I mean, this isn't the first person who's found someone on like one of these social media sites
and killed them. Right. Yeah, you're right. But I feel like because of the severity and how he did it, and also too, like D-Flow said, and like what I said, there's a lot of stuff happening right this second that I feel like everything is heightened to a point where you almost gotta be overly certain, overly sure that you are being protected. And to be honest, D-Flow said it. You gotta make smarter decisions. Men, you gotta make smarter decisions. Ladies, you gotta make smarter decisions. Some of these sites and some of the people that's putting, like, I'm gonna tell y'all some shit that actually happened to me. I'm actually trying to save this for a project I'm working on, but I'm gonna tell y'all some shit that happened to me that I actually never put on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff I don't put on Facebook that happens to me when I'm inside of an Uber. So I'm inside of an Uber one time. This was like last year. 2 white older gentlemen get in my car, and I honestly felt like they was doing it to me, and I'm not a woman. Like, they dead was in the back, these 2 older white women, these 2 older white men, and they were on a site that their wives didn't know about. And they were literally on the site like, I can't wait to meet her, where I'm gonna smash the jugglers off her. Like, this is how they talking. And like, they were talking about this about black women and like, white women. And I was just like, yo, and one of them was like, yeah, I gotta hurry up and fix my profile picture. And I was like, yo. When he said that part, bro, I was like, yo, I was in a weird position. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And I didn't mention nothing the whole ride. That was like a 55-minute ride, and I could have been interjected. I was leaving from Jersey, taking them to the city. I don't know what site they was on, but they was like, yeah, man, I gotta have a special app on my phone so my wife don't see. I'm like,
I mean, my homeboy introduced me to Tinder, but I never really got into it. It was always just like a fun thing.
Wow.
But yeah, social media isn't always all fun. You know, I think a lot of people forget that what happens in social media leads to real life consequences. So,
yeah.
Not in this particular case. I just think this is obviously on the dude.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
But
he has mental sickness, obviously.
Or something, I don't know. Just something wrong with him. But I think overall though, we gotta keep in mind that like social media isn't just social media for some people. And like Flo made an excellent point in terms of like, we don't know anyone's intentions on social media.
Nah, you don't.
When they slide in the DM,
you don't know.
They could be sliding in because they think you're cute. They could be sliding in because they seen you flash money.
That's a fact.
And they're about to get you robbed.
I got tagged in something today. Shout out to the Real. And Real tagged me in something today, and I hit the dude up in the inbox, and I'm thinking it's like gonna be something totally different from what I thought the actual post was trying to tailor and paint the picture of. The dude was like, yeah, $300 for a freestyle. You be on my mixtape. And I was just like, damn, a sucker's born every day.
Facts. Cause I'm never paying.
A sucker's born every day. Like $300 for a 16 verse. You dead ass?
Does that come with a fluffer?
Nah, it's just because I think he got something like 200,000 followers.
Half of them fake, if not more.
I was just like, and I think he said, if I'm not mistaken,
if he's in your inbox, half of them.
No, I was in his inbox after the tag, but it was such a generic response. Like I asked a general question, the response was mad generic. I'm like, this is programmed. This is programmed, so whoever hits his inbox, if you're not regularly in there, he sends you an automated message, because you can do that now on Instagram and all these other social media platforms.
You could?
Yeah, you can, because Messenger you can do that. Now I don't know if you've noticed, the Hot 97 app is controlled to do that from the Messenger's point of view. You go to the Hot 97 app, and then they give you a roster of all the artists that their songs is in rotation, and then you vote, and they constantly send you reminders every single day. They'll be like, yeah, DJ Enough, said this, or Funk Flex said this, but it's not really them, it's the automated app that's doing it.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I think that's a dope concept, but that should get annoying after a while.
Alright, so let's wrap it up, bros. One, I want to say thank you to everybody who showed so much love and interest in the show, and was excited for us to come back, and we're here, and we got an announcement, and I'm gonna just let the cat out the bag that we got another live show coming very, very soon.
Oh,
boom.
Okay.
D4, put some gunshots in that when you can.
Right.
Yup, I'm definitely putting the edit. That's all types of facts.
I've been to the live show that we had last year when we did it at the Mockingbird, right? That was the name of the
venue. Mockingbird.
And you guys have no idea how intensified we're taking it to this new level. And when I say new level, I'm saying new venue. I'm saying probably some of your favorite celebrities that we might be interviewing. And I'm talking about one of the dopest and illest venues this city has to offer to young black men who never been arrested.
And we not talking about like celebrities that y'all gonna be like, huh?
Yeah.
I never saw him.
Celebrities that you watch.
It's gonna be people that you're gonna be like, how
do you get them?
Where?
Let's not say too
right,
much.
You're right.
But
what I do want to
keep that same energy though.
What I do want to say though is the reason why we took such a long break was, I know some of y'all was wishing we didn't come back. Sorry. But
that's some of the people that started podcasts in our absence.
Right.
What up?
Thanks.
What up?
Whoever that is.
You know me.
But
I'm for it.
But I know a lot of y'all was wishing we didn't come back. But the ones who wanted us to come back, the reason why we took such a long time was because we literally brought everything to another level.
And we helped everybody indirectly. I mean, a lot of people was really asking a lot of questions on how to start a podcast, hitting us up in the inbox, people saying good job.
Hold it down, my nigga.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean, I've had people come up to me after and say, yo, you inspired me.
Yeah, which is dope. But that's what I'm saying. But I'm also saying, in the spirit of being a competitive person, like y'all know I've been since my mom pushed me out and said, nigga, the world is yours. And I was like, thank you, Nas. I'm here. And we here. And and we not going nowhere. Like X said, we back. And that's really all I gotta say. He said it, I'm confirming it. D-Flow's gonna put the gunshots and the fireworks. We back. So get ready.
So what would Dad say? I've been waiting to say this shit. What would Dad say? So this week, like I said, did I say it on the episode or I said it in the bloopers?
I think
Probably
you said
in the bloopers.
Alright, cool. So this week, I've had the unfortunate pleasure of having people kind of just put things onto my character that are not part of who I am.
If you made it to the end of this episode, please pay attention.
Damn.
So, by me saying that, I'm basically describing, like, I've had 2 arguments this week. Well, one of them I didn't even entertain. But I had 2 situations this week where people came and I was called fake. I was called selfish.
That's right.
I was called a know-it-all.
Damn.
Know-it-all, I'll take that one. Because sometimes I can get in my bag when we're arguing. I don't think I'm a know-it-all. I just think that I'm a knowledgeable person. I like to debate. But I can take know-it-all.
Right.
But selfish, I can't take that one. Fake, I can't take that one. And so what Dad would say is, know yourself to the point where you can take criticism and understand it, because sometimes people may point out flaws in your character that you do need to elevate and take account for.
Yeah.
But know yourself enough to understand who you are in terms of this is actually a piece of you and what is a projection of somebody else's either hatred for you and or hatred for themselves.
Right.
So what Dad would say is you need to know how to decipher that so that when people attack you, you can understand, you know what, this isn't me.
Right.
This is them at this particular time in life.
Right.
And so Dad would say, I know I said it before, and I'm not going to say know thyself because we said that before.
And know the universe.
Right.
Know the universe.
But Dad would definitely say you have to get a good understanding of the fact that people may project whatever it is, and it could be from a place of them actually having a disagreement with you, or they really do feel like maybe you're not supposed to be in their life or anything like that, and that might be valid, but it's about the reasoning. And if they're putting things onto your character that you know don't exist, you don't have to accept that. That's what Dad would say.
The tough knot, as we wrap up, I'm gonna agree with X, and I'm gonna just try to put my little spin on it. I've been learning these last few weeks, these last few days, how life could really knock you the fuck down. Like I feel like I've been like in limbo with a lot of stuff these last few years, but this year I feel like literally the things I quote unquote work hard, to get to accomplish. Shit has really literally been getting taken away. Like, I'm talking about work hours, I'm talking about work vehicles, I'm talking about a lot of shit has just been happening. And I was talking to my sister yesterday, shout out to Lisa, I love you, I miss you. Hope the sun out there is good. She was like, yo, Hen, maybe you need to really switch up what you're doing. Maybe you got something that you're doing and you just gotta let it go. I think this is your season where you have to change your priorities. And that shit hit like a ton of fucking bricks. For the people who are aware, I'm not gonna say it on the air, but there's a lot of things that were supposed to happen this summer, particularly at the end of this month, and they're no longer happening. A lot of things fell apart, and I had to send a lot of emails. I had to speak to a few artists that I made a promise to, which I'm still keeping my promise, but I had to call up an artist and I had to have a face-to-face with him in my car for like 20-25 minutes, and I had to look him dead in his eye and tell him the truth. And I felt like shit. I actually still do feel like shit. That's one reason why I haven't cut my hair or cut my facial hair, because I felt like I'm losing so much stuff. I don't want to lose what the fuck God gave me, so I'm keeping my hair on my face, I'm keeping it on my head, because I just feel like I'm going through a moment right now. I don't want to lose anything. So I'm just like, yo, I gotta really figure my shit out. So I say all that to say, we are on borrowed time, and hence why we gotta wrap this show up. But we are on borrowed time, and we have to be conscientious of what we do with the time that we're given, because we don't know if and when we decide to go to bed tonight, if that time will be taken away. And it's not about quote unquote what you got in life. It's about what you're doing to leave a legacy behind. So that's why the fuck we working so hard. Our pain, your entertainment. We make the jokes, you laugh. But some people out there really fucking hurting. You know what I mean? So just be careful about what you're doing and the choices you make. I think that was like a revolving theme throughout this whole episode. I mean, D-Flow definitely highlighted it a lot. Just be smarter, and I definitely have not been smart in a lot of my decisions these last few months. But I'm human, and I'm gonna get it there. And if not, then I guess I got Kevin's heart.
I mean, you got a lot of people around you that you could utilize.
Facts.
And always will be here for support. So, but that takes a lot to say, especially on the show.
I respect that.
I do. But I think I just to add a little bit more to that from my perspective, I think we're in the same boat, but just with different things. Like I feel like I'm in a season where I'm losing people.
Damn.
And
I'm in a season where I'm losing things.
And I'm losing people, which is hilarious.
Do you feel you losing weight?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah.
But
now I have to throw the joke in there, y'all.
But yeah, like I'm losing people, and I always try to hold on to people. I think that's one of my gifts and my curses is the fact that I can keep people together or keep people in my life.
Right.
But a lot of times you have to ask yourself, why? Like, what is the reason you're keeping this person? If they're going to say negative things about you, they're going to do negative things to you, they're going to try and hurt you because they're hurt. It may not necessarily be because they're a mean person, but because they're hurt. They're going to try and hurt you. Why do you need to keep them?
Right.
And that's the question I've been asking myself, and the answer is I don't. And so, like, I'm okay. Before I would be trying to do everything in my power. Oh, someone's mad at me or someone's upset. Let me try and fix it. I'm in a season in my life now where I'm like, if you gotta go, go. And I don't know if I'm gonna be here when you wanna come back, if you wanna come back. And that's just what it is. I've only been in that season one time, and that was when we had to let those two people go a few years ago. And that took a lot.
Damn.
That took a lot, honestly. Like, I mean, I still communicate with one of them.
Listen, baby, ain't nothing wrong.
Right. I still communicate with one of them, but if I'm keeping it a buck, that took a lot for me to be like, yo, I really gotta just not be focused on them. And that's one thing my mother always says about me. She says, you're obsessive about things and sometimes about people to the extent like you're always you'll put your all into either like the podcast, you'll put your all into the podcast. You'll put your all into a person.
Mom's just dropping gems on the live right now.
I saw the paragraph. I didn't want to read it.
Mama, I'm just feeling sexy, cool, and breezy. All right?
But, like, right? And there's times where it's just kind of like, yo, let them go. Because maybe for them, that's enough for them to realize, oh, snap. What am I doing? Or I should have never let someone like that out of my life.
And we not crying. We just showing y'all our professional wine. All right?
Yeah, we keeping it a buck. We just out here. But again, I think that's the theme of the show. So for everybody, keep that same
energy.
Keep it.
Keep that fucking energy, son. I'm telling y'all, because these niggas is being modest.
That's a fact.
We got some shit.
Yeah.
Trust and believe.
All right. I know it got a little emotional just now, but these. My dad has some bow ties.
I mean, listen, we haven't been here for a minute, and this is like therapy, right? This has been, he's dropping shit, y'all. This has been, that has some bow ties, right?
Somebody dropped a nickel.
We out.